You ever hear someone say, nothing good happens after midnight? Yeah, I should have listened. This happened a few summers ago when me and a couple of buddies, Vince, Jared, and me, decided to go camping out near Langdon River. Real deep woods, the kind of place where the mist hangs low and the trees seem to lean in a little too close. The first night was normal, beer, fishing, dumb jokes around the fire. But the second night, that's when things got weird. It was around 2 a.m. The fire was dying down, the whiskey was almost gone, and I, being the genius that I am, decided to take a walk with my new night vision camera. Vince joked, "Bet you don't last 10 minutes." He said that place had a history. I just laughed and headed out. The second I stepped past the first line of trees, it felt different, quieter, heavier. The camera made everything look green and ghostly. And the fog, man, it was so thick, it felt like it was breathing. About 100 yards from camp, I caught it. A flicker. Something white moving between the trees. At first, I thought it was a trick of the mist, maybe some reflection. But then I focused the camera, and that's when I saw her. A woman, standing there, half hidden by the birches. She was wearing this long white dress, soaked and dirty around the edges. Her hair was hanging down, dripping wet. She didn't move, didn't even seem to breathe. I don't know what made me do it, but I called out, "Hey, you okay? You need help?" No answer. She just stood there, like a broken doll. I got a little closer, maybe 20 feet away, and then she lifted her head. Her face was pale, like wax, and her eyes. God, her eyes were wide open, glassy, like she was looking right through me. There was so much sadness in them, it made my chest hurt. I took one more step forward, and that's when she just melted. I swear to God, she turned into mist right in front of me, just gone, like she was never there. I ran, didn't think, just turned and bolted back through the woods, tripping over roots and crashing through branches. When I got back to camp, I must have looked like a lunatic. Vince and Jared freaked. I shoved the camera at them and said, just play it back. And there she was. Clear as day on the footage, the woman in white, the way she lifted her head, the way she vanished. It was all there. We packed up first thing at dawn. No arguments, no jokes, just silent, tense movements, like the forest itself was watching us. But the worst part, when we stopped for gas in town, I mentioned it to the old guy behind the counter. Told him about the woman, the white dress. He got real quiet, real still. And he said, "You saw her. The river woman. Back in 1972, he said. A local girl named Alice Cormier got lost during a storm. They found her dress snagged in the river downstream, but never found her body. Some folks say she's still out there, wandering, looking for a way home." The old guy told me, almost in a whisper, "She shows up when it's misty, mostly to people not from around here." I didn't say much after that, didn't want to think about it. I deleted the footage. Yeah, deleted it. Couldn't stand the thought of her stuck in that little screen, looking at me like that. But sometimes, late at night, I still dream about her, standing there, silent, waiting. You ever hear someone say nothing good happens after midnight? Yeah, I should have listened. This happened a few summers ago when me and a couple of buddies, Vince, Jared, and me, decided to go camping out near Langdon River. Real deep woods. The kind of place where the trees are so thick they blot out the moon. And the mist rolls in heavy, almost like it's alive. The first night was normal. Beers, bad jokes, the usual. But the second night, that's when it got strange. It was about 2 a.m. The fire was dying down, just embers, and we were low on whiskey and good sense. I had just bought this fancy night vision camera and figured, hey, why not get some spooky footage? Vince laughed and said, bet you don't last 10 minutes out there. He said Langdon Woods had a reputation. Missing hikers, strange lights, you know, the kind of stories people tell just to scare the tourists. I just shook my head, grabbed the camera, and wandered into the trees. Immediately, it felt different. The air was colder, heavy. The night vision made everything glow this weird ghostly green. And the fog was so thick you could barely see 2 feet ahead. It felt like walking through a dream you couldn't wake up from. I must have been 100 yards from camp when I caught it. Movement, something pale flickering between the trees. At first, I figured it was just the mist playing tricks, but then I focused and saw her. A woman, standing dead still among the birches. She wore this long white dress that hung heavy with water. Her hair clung to her face in wet, tangled strands. Her bare feet were half sunken into the muddy ground. I called out stupidly, "Hey, you okay? Are you lost?" No answer. She didn't even flinch. Just stood there, arms limp at her sides. I crept closer, my boots squelching in the mud. 20 feet away now, that's when she lifted her head. Her face was pale. Not pale like someone scared, but pale like something pulled up from the bottom of a lake. Her eyes were wide, blank, and endless, like 2 dark holes. I swear, when she looked at me, it felt like she was dragging something out of me, like she was pulling at my soul. I wanted to move, to run, but my legs wouldn't listen. It was like the mist had hands. Then, without warning, she just disappeared. No sound, no rush of wind. 1 second she was there. The next, nothing but swirling fog. And somehow the woods felt even emptier after that. I don't remember turning around. I just remember running, branches clawing at my arms, roots grabbing at my boots, something whispering through the trees that I couldn't quite hear and didn't want to. I crashed back into camp, wild-eyed and gasping. Vince and Jared jumped up thinking maybe I'd been attacked by something. All I could do was shove the camera at them and choke out, "Play it." We watched it together, huddled close to the fire like little kids. And there she was, frozen in the green glow of night vision. The woman in white, the way she lifted her head, the way she vanished, it was all there, undeniable. Nobody said a word after that. We packed up at first light. On the drive back into town, none of us talked much. It felt like if we spoke about it, we might call her back. We stopped for gas in Langdon, and while Jared was paying, I got talking to the old guy behind the counter. Told him what I saw. His face went real serious. He leaned in and said, "You saw her? The river woman." He told me the story. How back in 1972, a local girl named Alice Cormier went missing during a flood. Supposed to meet her fiancé at the covered bridge, but the river swallowed her up. They found her dress snagged on a branch. Never found her body. People say, when the mist rolls in, she comes back, still looking for her way home. The old man said she mostly shows herself to outsiders, strangers, people who don't know better than to go wandering at night. I didn't say much after that. Didn't need to. When we got home, I deleted the footage. I couldn't bear to keep it. But sometimes when I'm alone in the woods, or even just looking out the window on a foggy night, I swear I catch a glimpse of white, just at the edge of the trees, waiting. And part of me wonders, if I hadn't run,
Road trip.
if I'd answered her call, would I have disappeared into the mist too?
Birds.
You ever get that feeling you're being watched? That cold prickling on the back of your neck? Even when you know you're alone. That's the feeling we all had that night at Brackenridge Woods. Only we weren't alone. Not even close. There were 5 of us. Me, Kyle, Dave, Mike, and Tony. We'd planned this camping trip for months. Just a bunch of old friends looking to get away from the grind. No phones, no laptops, no lights, except our lanterns and the big fire we built right in the center of camp. The first night was perfect. Beers, stupid ghost stories, and the sound of the river not far off. We stayed up until about 2 a.m. before crashing into our tents, half drunk and half fried from laughing. It must have been around 3:30 when I woke up. No reason, no nightmare, no sound, just a sudden knowing that something was wrong. The fire was mostly out by then, just a few red coals pulsing in the ash. Our little battery-powered lantern was still on, sitting on a tree stump nearby. The woods were thick and dark around us, swallowing the light like a mouth swallowing food. That's when I saw it. At the very edge of the light, just beyond where it could touch, there was a figure, tall, thin, standing absolutely still behind Kyle's tent. I thought maybe it was a trick of the trees at first, but the longer I stared, the more I realized this wasn't a tree. It was watching us. I froze. My heart hammered in my ears. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Just a deer, maybe, or someone from another campsite. But every instinct in me, every old primal nerve, screamed to stay still, stay quiet. After a few minutes, or maybe an eternity, I quietly reached for my phone. I had this idea that if I could film it, maybe I'd see something I couldn't explain away. Through the lens, it was even clearer. A tall man, easily over 6 feet, standing motionless. No face that I could make out, just this dark outline. I was too scared to move, too scared to wake the others. I just lay there, phone clutched in sweaty hands, heart racing, watching the figure watching us. Then, it shifted. Not a step forward, not a twitch. It was more like the shape itself bent slightly, like it was leaning closer, almost curious. I couldn't take it anymore. I whispered, real low, Kyle, wake up." No response. Everyone else was dead asleep. And that's when the lantern flickered, once, twice, and then died. Pitch black. I didn't scream. I think my voice had died right along with the light. Somehow, I managed to fumble for the zipper of my tent. I tore it open, not caring how much noise I made, and tumbled outside. The space where the figure had stood was empty. I shone my phone's flashlight around, desperate. Nothing, just trees and mist. In the morning, we checked for footprints. The ground was soft from last week's rain. We should have seen something, but there was nothing. Not a single mark behind Kyle's tent. No broken twigs, no scuffed dirt. Just undisturbed ground, like nothing had been there at all. The weirdest part, when I showed everyone the video from my phone, there he was, the figure, clear as day, standing in the shadows. Tony said it had to be a prank, that someone was screwing with us. But here's the thing. The nearest other campers were 5 miles away. We were alone out there, totally, completely alone. Or at least we were supposed to be. We left that day, packed up by noon, pretending it was just because we wanted to beat the traffic. But none of us have camped together since. Not once. Sometimes I watch that video late at night, just to prove to myself it really happened. Sometimes I imagine what would have happened if the lantern hadn't gone out, if the figure had stepped forward into the light. Would it have had a face? Would it have been human? Or something else entirely? I don't think it meant to hurt us. I think it was just watching. But somehow, that's worse. Because what kind of thing just stands there, silent, waiting, watching, out in the dark?